Everybody, Dr. Tanya English here, and today is the first Friday of the month. It's May already. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? I'm running late, so I'm just gonna put a little earring in over here, see if something sparkly to look at, and I'm gonna put another little one over here. My sister gave me these. She's awesome. My sister Leslie, you might see her posting on my page sometimes. She's a wonderful big sister. Everybody thinks I'm the older one because I'm natural. And she doesn't. She dyes her hair. So I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, thanks for chiming in here today. I'm going to also put on, well, actually, I found out that we can post this to YouTube as well. So we have some really neat ways of communicating anymore, don't we? I love that. Let's see if my glasses will be straight. So today, First Friday Facebook Live. Today we're going to talk about trust and what it means to trust and why people have trust issues. And I wrote about this in the newsletter. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, just go to quantumhealinginternational.com and sign up there. There's a little magic box that will appear and you can sign up there. And if you don't want to do that, but I don't send out all that many emails, I don't think, unless there's some event going on, then I'll send a bunch out. But if you sign up for the email, for the newsletter, then what'll happen is you'll get the newsletter, you'll get invitations to events, but I also post a newsletter on the Quantum Healing Facebook page. And I also post it on my page, Tanya English. So you can find it there. And today, this month's newsletter says, who do you trust? And then I also see back over my shoulder over here. Ooh, this is backwards. That's the affirmation of the month. So you'll see that too. And that's also in the newsletter. And then it's also posted on YouTube. So, getting all this stuff out sometimes can be kind of a challenge, but I'm up for it. Are you up for it? Let's be up for it. So today we're going to talk about trust, and I want to start with a prayer so that we can invite source energy, so we can invite God into our circle here. So as we do that, I'm going to have you breathe in and hold your breath for a moment and then just let it out as I say this prayer. So take a deep breath in all the way up through your crown chakra, up into love, light, source energy. So imagine that you're breathing all the way up into the center of the universe, wherever that is. And as you exhale this time through your mouth, let that energy come back down through all layers, all levels, down through all the chakras, down through the center of your body, down through your feet, down into the core of the earth. As I say these words in the I am for all listening, God is all there is. Love, light, life, and source energy is all there is. And I recognize right here and right now that I am one with God, love, light, and source energy. I am never, ever separated from this energy. And if I feel separated, I know it's a false feeling. And all I have to do is breathe in inspiration and exhale gratitude. Thank you. I'm so grateful to have this time today to commune with God, with source energy, with all those who are willing to be here now and present. I'm so grateful to be able to do this in a safe place. I'm so grateful to be able to have this time in a place where I feel completely safe, nurtured, and supported. I know that many people do not have that space or feel that they don't have that space, but it's right here, right now. So I allow that as I breathe in and I get inspiration, that I am safe as long as I'm breathing. I'm so grateful to be able to have the power of the entire universe conspiring in my favor, bringing to me that which I desire, and knowing that as I make my desires known and claim my authority in my life to bring in good healing energy, that is my right, that is my gift, and I allow myself to claim what I desire in my life. I know that as I do so, I'm not taking away from anyone else, that there is plenty, there is abundance for everyone. And I don't have to step aside to let someone else have this moment. This is my moment, and I claim it as mine. And I'm so grateful to be able to have that moment. I'm in gratitude constantly for all that I have, knowing that there are those who don't have the same that I do. And it's okay for me to be able to do what I know I need to do to make myself feel joy, to create joy in my life, to open myself up to the joy that's abounding all around me. And so as I do so, I'm also subconsciously asking others to do likewise, or giving them permission in some very subconscious way. It's not me saying it's okay for you to do that. It's me doing it so they feel okay to do it as well. And so I allow that this feeling of safety and this feeling of abundance goes outward in all directions for me all day long, every day. I'm so grateful to be able to call this into my experience, to be able to stand in that light of God's love, knowing that I am a divine expression of love. And so it is. I authorize my subconscious to let it be so, to clear away any constrictions or contractions that are keeping me from my highest good. And I call it into being right now, and I let it go, knowing that it's done. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. So I never know what I'm really going to be praying about, because I'm getting that information as I'm allowing the prayer to come. So sometimes it's something really specific, and sometimes today was about safety. So how interesting that I had picked the topic of trust, and the prayer that comes in is about safety. Those two things are really connected, aren't they? I mean, it's hard to feel safe with someone if you don't feel connected to them, and it's hard to feel trust if you don't feel safe. So what I'd like you to do, if you're watching this right now, is just make a comment below, because I'm going to be doing some healing later on in this half hour to help people feel safe and connected, and to feel trust again. So one of the things that keeps coming up for me, and I think it's because I have it right here on the wall posted next to my desk, is a quote that says, "Finally, friends, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there's any praise, think on these things." And then underneath it, I've written trust, trust, trust. Trust that it's okay. Trust that it's good. Trust that it's lovely. And that what you're thinking about that's bringing in this good stuff, just trust that that's okay. You don't have to put your mind on all the negative things that are happening in the world. In fact, that's not helping that much. What can help is if you work toward good. So, for instance, I don't really get involved in I don't get too involved in groups that are about putting something down or stopping something. What I like to get involved in is things that are moving things forward. So it's for something, not against something. That way I feel like my energy isn't going to keep hitting that wall. Because if you keep pushing against something, it pushes back. So I'd rather work for things than against something. So against disease, I'm for health. See, there's a big difference. If I'm against disease, I'm thinking about disease all the time. But if I'm for health, then I'm thinking about health. So it's just a matter of doing that. So the trust part of this is that we trust that there's a higher power that's helping us, that's moving this along. Now, if you put your attention on the negative all the time, over and over again, that's not going to help you feel very much trust. But if you're putting your attention on what's good, what's just, what's lovely, what's honest and true, then you're helping to move that forward. So I want to just talk about this. In my practice here, when I have people on the table right there, Or when I'm working with clients over the phone or online and the feeling trust comes up, most people will say, oh yeah, I have trust issues. I don't trust anybody. In fact, I just had somebody say that this week. And I said, well, you trusted me to be able to help you, so you can't really say that as a blanket statement. What are you really thinking about when you say that? Well, I can't really trust my parent. And so there's a feeling sometimes between parents and children that there's a trust issue going on. And one of the things I wrote in the newsletter this week was, well, have you ever been dropped as a baby? And maybe you don't know about it, but it happens. It can happen. Somebody's holding the baby and oops, maybe it's a little kid that's holding the baby or something is going on. But there's a really obvious issue with trust there. And the reason why I bring that up is because it's pre-verbal. You can't describe it. You probably won't remember things that happened when you were a baby, so you don't know about it in your memory. And it's something that can imprint on you as a subconscious emotional memory. And when subconscious emotional memories override present time, dis-ease that is left alone turns into disease. So when we're talking about trust and you're saying you have trust issues or someone says that they have trust issues, we all have trust issues. But what are we putting our trust in? Are we putting our trust in other people? Because people are fallible, as you know, being one of them. You know that you don't always get it right? And sometimes you get it way wrong. So the better idea there is to allow yourself to really feel that you're trusting something that has more for you. In other words, my friend Gloria Hardiman says, don't put your trust in a man, put your trust in Jesus. Now, you don't have to follow Jesus as far as I'm concerned. If you do, great. That's kind of my thing. But you have to put your trust in something that is not fallible, something that is beyond what humans can do in that way. I think, this is my personal opinion, and you don't have to agree with me, but there's something that created us. You don't have to call it God even if you don't want to. But there is innate intelligence. This is chiropractic philosophy 101. There's innate intelligence that knows how to do things. So what's running your body right now is not your thoughts. What's running your liver right now? You're not thinking about, oh, I have to clear that toxin out that I just ate last night. You're not thinking that, because you can't run your liver. You can't run your body with your thoughts. You'd be busy all the time and you'd never catch up. So what's running your body? We call it innate intelligence. And there's a certain trust that happens there. Let me just say, if you had a scar for every paper cut you've ever gotten, that would not be a trustworthy vessel. But you don't have a scar for that. Your body self-heals. It knows how to heal, and you don't have to do anything to it. You don't have to stare at it and say, I hope you heal, or you don't have to do any of that. It just does that automatically, autonomically, which is run by your subconscious. So if your subconscious is running your body, what's running your subconscious? Well, those are your feelings, how you feel about things. So often when I'm working with people, they come in and they tell me what their problem is, and I'll say, well, why do you feel like you have this problem? And people generally know why they have a problem. And they'll say, well, I had a very bad relationship with my parent, or some other thing has happened, or they've had a trauma growing up, and they really believe that that's stemming from that trauma. And listen, let me tell you, people know exactly why they have the problems that they have. If they allow themselves to think not just on the physical diagnostic level, but they think about who they are and what they've been through, they know. So I want to really kind of bring this home for you. I had a patient recently who came into the office, and they have been having serious physical problems for quite a while. So serious that they were in the emergency room like every other week and unable to hold food down. And I asked the person, why do you think this is happening to you? And they went on to tell me how they were doing a job that they loved. It was what they felt was their goal, their purpose in life. And they were fired from that job. They had no idea why. There was no precursor to that. There was nothing going on. They had it just was like a lightning bolt out of the blue that struck them. Can you imagine doing your life's work, loving every minute of it, and somebody comes in and says, you can't do that anymore, you're gone? That's a very big trauma to have happen. And what does the body do when it goes into fight or flight? It puts all of the energy of the gut into the large muscle groups so you can run or you can stay and fight. Now, what do you not need when you're running away from danger? You don't need your digestion. You don't need your blood pressure to stay low. It goes up. Your heart rate goes up. All of these things go up. And if it's never dealt with on the level that it came in, like the feeling level, it's going to continue running, and it's going to be subconscious because you're not consciously aware of it happening anymore. It's like you can't stop that cascade of physiological happenings. You can't stop it because now it's a groove that's worn, and now that groove, the body just does it automatically. It does it automatically under the surface without you even knowing about it. Here's the example that I use quite often. If you're driving home from work and you want to stop at the grocery store and you're thinking about the list of things that you want to get at the grocery store, are you thinking about driving? Usually not. This is a pathway that's been worn in your brain. So it's very easy for you to drive and think about something else. How about walking? When you first started walking, you had to really work at it, right? You had to really get up there and you had to hold yourself on your legs, and maybe your parents were cheering you on or your siblings were cheering you on and they were saying, you're doing great, keep going. And then you fell down. And what did they do when you fell down? Did they say, oh, wow, you're terrible at that, you probably shouldn't do it anymore? No, they didn't say that. They said, that was great. That was great. Try again. Try again. Here, let me help you. We'll try again. There was always encouragement for you. That's if you're in a normal family, somewhat normal, because there are so many people who are not in normal families. There's so many people who have had these traumas at very young ages. They can't even remember. And from 0 to 6 years old, all we're doing is mimicking our primary caregiver. What if our primary caregiver is a mess? And we're mimicking their behavior and thought patterns because that's what we're seeing. So that's what we should do. So I want to bring back trust into this conversation here. So if you're having a situation like that, where your primary caregiver is abusive or mentally unfit to be a parent, or they're not your parent, and they don't have that loving feeling towards you, listen, you can't trust that person, right? There's a level of trust that is just not there. And that's okay. It's okay for you to not trust them because you haven't been shown how to trust. That doesn't mean that you can't trust, right? Because you can trust that you know in your knower how something feels, that you can feel it. Some of those feelings are just overcoats that you've put on because it seems appropriate for the situation. And so you put on another coat. I'm going to get through this traumatic experience at school. I'm going to put a coat on. Nobody will have to see the coat. It's just an imaginary coat. It's just a way of us protecting ourselves. When you come to an awareness that you don't really need that protection anymore because that situation has now been put in the past, then you can start taking them off. And this can be a process of just trusting that who you are is a divine expression of love. That's all you have to do is trust that. But there might be people coming in to help. Yesterday, I was on the phone with a client and friend, and she had a super huge breakthrough. She remembered an experience that she had in high school where she was at a party and she was raped. And when she remembered that and she was able to speak it out loud, it was as if a huge weight had been lifted off of her. And I said to her, because I know this is true, once you remove that weight, things are going to start to fall into place about how you have been being in the world. And she immediately realized that one of the reasons why she gets hysterical when she's having an argument with her partner is because that keeps him far enough away from her so she feels protected. So that she's creating this big, huge drama out of nothing, as she said, out of nothing, so that she will feel protected because she was not protected in her life. And so many people have been through that. So many. So I want to encourage you to find a safe place, either with me or someone else that you feel safe with, and let those things out. Now, let me tell you, if some of this stuff is buried pretty deeply, it takes some time to get to that. This was the 7th session that we had together. And we took some breaks in between those sessions too. It wasn't once a week with her because we had some miscommunication. And so it had been a while since we worked together. And then she had this huge breakthrough. So it's going to take some time, and it's going to take that consistency of feeling that you're safe with the person that you're working with. I encouraged her to find a talk therapist because we don't do a lot of like rehashing over the experience with the work that I do, but to find somebody that she could really tell and that they could help bring her through this experience of the realization and also bringing up. Now, when I'm working with somebody that works with a talk therapist, it makes the talk therapy go faster, and they can clear stuff with me that they don't have to talk about because we don't talk so much about it. That session, we had her shadow self, the part of her that kept telling her no, 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 no. We had that part of herself come forward, and I spoke to it, and it finally let us know what was really going on. Big breakthrough. A lot of things change when you have a breakthrough like that. The physiology changes because now it's not doing that protection anymore. It doesn't have to. So it's very exciting to be able to help people like that. And it's such a in such a non-confrontational way because we're on the phone. There's nothing, she could hang the phone up anytime. If we're online, you can just shut the lid of your computer if you're on a laptop or just hit click. There's a sense of safety in this container that we have. That's why we do a prayer at the beginning. We want to invite that safety in. We want to invite that in. So I'm so grateful to be able to share with you this work and these experiences that I have with people. And I hope that if you're not watching this live, that you'll tune into this later as it's posted, and that you might find yourself giving me a call. There's all different kinds of ways to get in touch with me. There's a phone number. There's the website, quantumhealinginternational.com. You can go to the Facebook page, Quantum Healing International. You can go to my private page, Tanya English. You can always send me a message. My number is really easy to remember. It's 319-325-4325. And 4325 spells heal. So it's 325-HEAL. 3 + 2 = 5. So I hope that you'll get in touch with me if you feel drawn to that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about today was this weekend, May 4th and 5th, we are doing a live energy scan training here in Coralville at my friend Dee Dee Dancing's Dancing Prairie Massage College. It's right down the road. And my teacher, Dan Henneman, his nickname, Daniel Hanneman, the Blockbuster. Daniel John Hanneman, he is an awesome person. And what I would tell you is that this training is about how to do intuitive energy scanning. So that's some of the things that I do with people when they first get in touch with me. We do an intuitive energy scan where I read the chakras of that person and show you where the blocks are and why they might be there and what's causing this pattern in your life to continue. So it could be a pattern of never having enough money. It could be a pattern of nasty relationships. I'm going to sneeze. It could be a pattern of the same boss at every job you go to. It's like the same pain in the neck boss. It could be a pattern of never speaking up for yourself. It could be a pattern of, like that client that I was working with, of always going hysterical and making big mountains out of little molehills. So one of the ways that you can determine if that's going on for you is if you have a reaction to something that is inappropriate for the something. So if somebody takes something of yours, like my son took one of my kitchen gadgets, and I was like, you better bring that back. But if I had said, you pain here, blah, and gotten really upset about it, that's not the reaction to have for something. If it's like out of context and inappropriate and too big for what is really going on, like your kids are going to come in and take stuff out of your house, right? I mean, it happens. But just like dropping a baby, it happens. What are you going to do? Pick the baby up, hold the baby, make the baby feel better. The same with him. Just, you know what, you're going to have to replace that. And if you don't replace it, I'm just taking it back. So I took it back. And then I got him a new one. I'm terrible. I'm too permissive with him. Anyway, so we're having this intuitive energy scan training, and it's a great way for you to help yourself read people, whether you want to work with them, whether they're the client for you, whether they're the person you want to be around, whether they're somebody you want to date. When you can read them intuitively, and usually we ask for permission to read people, when you can get that intuitive hit from somebody and then allow it to be okay and know that it's a gift that you have, because we all have it and we're just taught not to use it. So this is a way for you to be in a safe place to learn how to use it and to learn how to do things with it that will bring you business too, because we have that section of it. Now, last weekend we did a Claim Your Power retreat, and that's like a little taste of what this is. So in that, we have people get together in groups of 2, in pairs, and read each other just without really much instructions, just to see what they can pick up. And people pick up all kinds of stuff that's true. And they start to realize how accurate that can be. And so we're giving this training, and if you want to get certified, you can move on to certification, because for some people, this is going to feel like, oh my gosh, I could do this and I could help more people. That's a wonderful feeling, and I hope that you'll give it a second or third thought if you haven't thought of it already. You can get in touch with me. There's also a link on the Facebook page to do the training this weekend. Now, I know it's quick. It's happening tomorrow. We start at 9 o'clock sharp, and we go all day. We have a lunch break, then we have a dinner break, then we go for a few more hours in the evening. And then Sunday, about, I would say like 2/3 of the day, maybe break after lunch. So it's a long training, but listen, it's really worth it if you want to up level what you're doing with your intuition and how you're using it, and you want to feel those gifts of intuition and psychic ability, because that's also something we all have. If you want to just hone it and you want to feel supported in that, this is a great way to do it. And I hope that you'll be able to join us. We have a lovely group of people, just amazing people that are going to be there this weekend. And, you know, when you get all the weirdos in the room together, nobody feels weird. So allow yourself to experience that, what it's like to be with a bunch of intuitive people. It's really fun. And I think that when we create bigger and bigger groups of empathetic people who learn how to use their intuition, who are helping to heal the planet, we can have more healing everywhere. I know everybody says everything's going to hell in a handbasket, and people have been saying that for millennia. So I want you to be part of the solution. I want you to let your gifts come forward and trust your gifts. Trusting your gifts is huge. And if you can do that, you're going to be doing great. And I'm going to be there to support you all along the way. So I hope that you'll join us and that you'll consider coming this weekend. And if you can't come this weekend, I understand there's a home study course. You can do that, and you can have me come through the course with you and mentor you through the course. And then we're going to be doing another Claim Your Power mini retreat probably in June. So stay tuned for that. I look forward to each and every one of you contacting me, and I hope that you have a blessed day. So take a nice deep breath in, up through your crown chakra, up into love, light, source energy, up into the center of the universe. And as you exhale, let that energy come back down through all layers, all levels, down through all the chakras, down through the center of your body, down through your feet into the core of the earth. As I say these words in the I am, for everyone listening, God is all there is. Love, light, and source energy is all there is. And I am one with God, love, light, and source energy. I am so grateful to be able to breathe in inspiration and exhale gratitude. And my attitude of gratitude is all day, every day. I say that it's so, and so it is. Thank you, God. Thank you all. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the weekend. I hope I get to see you. Yay. Any questions or comments? Put them in there. If I have people live on this call, I will do healing, but I don't see anybody live on this call. So we'll talk later. Bye now.